Germany's top court orders government to protect people with disabilities and pre-existing conditions to ensure they are not discriminated against if overstreet-eached hospitals are forced to decide who gets care.
Here's a summary of the article.
Germany's Constitutional Court ruled on Tuesday that lawmakers must set out legally binding criteria to protect people with disabilities and pre-existing conditions in pandemic-related triage situations. Triage is the process of prioritizing patients for treatment according to either the seriousness of their illness or injury, or their chances of survival. The court said legislators had violated the constitution by not previously setting out such rules. The ruling came in response to a complaint by 9 people with disabilities and previous illnesses who feared that, under present guidelines, doctors could give up on them if they became ill with COVID-19. Previous clinical and ethical recommendations for triage were issued by the German Intensive Care Association (DIVI) along with other medical associations. The complainants felt that these recommendations could see them disadvantaged, as the general state of health and existing illnesses of patients were included as selection criteria. Advocates for the rights of patients have also voiced support for triage guidelines imposed by the state.
This post received a score of 10,000, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Justice Minister has since announced he'll draft new legislation in line with today's court ruling.
People who choose not to be vaccinated against COVID should be at the end of the line in hospital admissions for COVID. Discuss.
We have to cancel surgeries left and right because our ICU beds all get filled with COVID patients. Nearly every single COVID patient that is hospitalized is unvaccinated. We are not cancelling little cosmetic surgeries in order to accommodate COVID patients. You can be certain that surgical patients requiring an ICU bed are not in good shape.
And an important thing to know about COVID's usage of ICU beds: normal average usage is 3 days. Average usage for a COVID patient is 14 days. Lots of people don't realize how many angles COVID is fucking healthcare from.
At my hospital we have one who is on day 50. Family refuses to withdraw care. Jesus Christ! What condition can they possibly be in after that much time? I'm a CNA at a level 1 trauma center, pretty new to the ICU, and from what I've seen they typically don't make it past 2 to 3 weeks. They literally stroke out. How can this person possibly get better, insinuating that they were in a bad condition to begin with?
What do they mean by pre-existing conditions exactly? If they rule out pre-existing conditions, who then makes the judgment if care is applied to someone who is basically healthy and needs life-saving treatment over someone with, let's say, cancer and needs the same life-saving treatment? I'm not saying the person with cancer should die, but isn't this basic triage protocol to assess who has the best chance of survival? It certainly would make deciding much harder if you can't include these.
I think it's more like the people having asthma worrying that they won't have access to a ventilator if they catch COVID, because the COVID patient without asthma has better chances of survival.
Greater than the complainants felt that these recommendations could see them disadvantaged, as the general state of health and existing illnesses of patients were included as selection criteria. I don't understand. Isn't that the entire essence of triaging? Doesn't triage exist to allow for clear pragmatic choices when idealistic ones are no longer possible? How can you prioritize using chances for survival without considering these factors? They basically said that short-term survival is the benchmark, not further health problems down the line. E.g., if a 25-year-old with bad chances and a 75-year-old disabled whose remaining life expectancy is less than 5 years without COVID but good chances against COVID are competing for treatment, then the remaining life expectancy shouldn't be of concern.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.